Okay, so stretching, compressing, reflecting tangent graphs, day 2. Writing the function rule for transform tangent function of the form f of x equals a times tangent of 1 over bx from the graph. So this one's done a little differently than the cosine and sine. We're given the graph. We need to identify what a and b are. And we actually have to solve for a in this case. And we're going to use a little formula that I'm going to give you to find out what the b value is. So to find b is the distance between your asymptotes. Our asymptote goes from -1 to +1. So to find that, we're going to say that pi over b equals 1 minus a -1. That means pi times b equals, this double negative becomes a positive, so that's 2. So in this case, when we're solving for b is equal to 2 divided by pi. Now remember, when we write it into our equation, we want 1 over b. So the 1 over b is going to be pi over 2. We have to flip it back around. Now, when we're looking to find a, we're going to plug this into our equation of what we know. So we have f of x equals a times the tangent. 1 over b is pi over 2 x. Now, we want to solve for a, so we're going to use one of the given points. We have 1/2, 2. I'm going to use it because they're both positive, and it makes life sometimes just a little easier when we use those positive values. So this point, 1/2, 2, this is your x value. This is y. So here for f of x, I'm going to put in 2. We get a times the tangent, pi over 2 times x, which is 1/2. So we have 2 equals a times the tangent of pi over 4. And pi over 4, we need to actually compute what that is. So if you remember how to compute this to degrees, remember we took the pi over 4 times 180 over pi. That gives me 45 degrees. Remember the pi's cancel out, so you get 180 divided by 4. That's going to give you 45 degrees. So we're going to replace the radian, that pi over 4, with 45 degrees. And on your calculators, you're going to plug in 45 and take the tangent of it. When you do, you're going to find out that that actually equals 1. So a times 1 is 2, so that means our a value is 2. So our function then becomes, written out in its entirety, f of x equals, a is 2, and it's times the tangent of pi over 4x. Piece of cake. Make sure you get the whole example written in your notes.